guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and in today's video I am doing another speed reviews. So I have a bunch of products in front of me that I have been trying over the past couple months, some on camera, some off camera. So I wanted to go through them, tell you guys kind of my updated thoughts on everything, or show you guys things that I've been trying recently that I haven't shown on camera. If you guys are interested in hearing about some products that I have been trying recently and my thoughts on them, then just keep on watching. Alright, so first things first, if you are interested in this makeup look, it is from my palette mashup with the Blow and Smoke palette and the Truly Madly Deeply palette. I will link that up in the eye and down below for you guys as well. And let's just go ahead and jump into it. So first things first, I picked up the Hemps CBD 120 milligram Refresh Me Hydrating Facial Toner and Refresher. So I like to use a spray-on toner every day before I put on my SPF, or anytime I'm about to put on any sort of skincare product that has hyaluronic acid in it. Previously, I was always using the Mario Badescu like green tea spray, but I was like, I want something a little bit more. And recently, recently when I'm filming this, probably not, maybe not recently when you were seeing this, Kohl's is gonna have Sephora in their stores, so they were heavily discounting the products that are in their store that aren't from Sephora, and Hempz is one of those brands. So this was heavily discounted. I want to say it was like 50% off, and I was like, I'm gonna buy two. If I don't like it, I'll return them, or at the very least just return the one that's unopened. But I picked this up. I do actually really like this. I use it every single morning, like I said. It does have a little bit of that kind of hempy scent to it, so that is something to keep in mind if you don't like that scent. But I do really like it. It makes my skin feel really nice. It's got a decent mist on it. It's not something I put on over makeup, so I'm not too terribly concerned with the mist, but I do like it and I will continue to use this. And honestly, if this is going to do more for my skin with having CBD in it than like the regular Mario Badescu, which is probably just fragranced fucking liquid at this point, then I'm gonna take this. This is another product that I actually picked up from Kohl's when they were doing that really heavy discount, which shocked me because Lorac is in Kohl's or in Sephora, but maybe they just had to get rid of all of their product before they could bring in Sephora. But this is the Lorac Tantalizer Buildable Bronzing Powder, and I got the shade Pool Party. It's a really, really nice bronzer. I like this shade a lot for my skin, especially when I'm more fair, so it's probably not going to work too well for me later on in the summer and or like early fall, because if I'm going to be honest with you, here in Southern California, summer for us is like August to the very end of like October. It's not like your standard summer months. It's a little bit later in the year. So later in the year is probably when this won't work for me so well. But I think that's a really nice bronzer. It is very sheer, and this is a very, very light shade, which is awesome if you are more fair. However, I do just want to point out a couple things. So first things first, this is the way that this bronzer is pressed, its formula, something about it. It works better with a densely packed brush that you kind of build it up and then you stamp it on, and then I'm not going to do it with my left hand, but you kind of stamp it on and then blend it out that way. It just applies a little bit better that way. It took me a little while to kind of get used to that, which is funny because it's very, very similar to another product. So that's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, was this has a dupe. So let me swatch this again right here so you can see this. That is the Lorac Bronzer right there. And then right next to it, I am going to swatch the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. They apply identically. They look identical on the skin. Their formula is very much the same in that it's not a bronzer that picks up a lot on the brush. It kind of, you have to really swirl it in there and kind of pack it on a little bit to get some color. Sheer buildable formulas, but they're very, very similar. So if you are interested in the Lorac blush or bronzer, or if you already use the Lorac bronzer and you do like it, I would recommend checking out the City Bronzer. Also, like, even their packaging is almost identical. The only difference is that Lorac is closed with a magnet, but like the little lip to get that is so tiny that it's actually kind of easier to open this one. So I'm just saying. All right, I know in my last speed reviews video, which I will link that up in the eye for you guys and down below, I said that I was gonna lay off of primers, and then I went to this store called Five Below because I was just curious. I'd never been there before, and I was like, I kept seeing all these videos on TikTok about Five Below, and I was like, I really want to go to Five Below, and they had a beauty section, and I ended up getting like some great Wet n Wild brushes and all this stuff, and they had a whole Wet n Wild section pretty much. The first one was the Wet n Wild Glass Correct Primer. This primer is really, really pretty. It is very similar to like your Becca Backlight, any of your like glowy, radiant primers. This one does have a more yellow base to it, which really does brighten up the skin, and it isn't radiant in the same, I totally lied to you if I'm being honest with you. It isn't radiant in the same way that the Becca one is. It's not glowy, it's glassy. But it feels really hydrating on the skin. It feels really nice. It doesn't have any fragrance in it whatsoever. It literally just smells like product, like wet product. But not in like that gross like makeup-y scent. It really just doesn't smell like much of anything, and it just does such a good job at brightening the skin, making it glowy, hydrating it. I actually really, really recommend this. I had my eye on this at Ulta for a really long time, so when I saw it at Five Below, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick it up. And then the other thing that I picked up from Five Below is this Wet n Wild Color Icon palette, 10-pan palette. This is in the style Lights Off, but I do actually really like this most of the time. It's not a palette that I find myself reaching for all the time, and it's also the palette that if I am reaching for it, it is for two specific shades. So it's for this green shade right here, which is really pretty, and then it's for this metallic shade right here. I just think that these shades are so pretty. I don't have colors like these in any other palettes that I have, especially this like greeny goldy duochrome foil was the word that I'm looking for. I just think it's really, really pretty. I will say that they require a little bit of extra work. You want to use a sticky base. You want to pack the shadow on before you blend it out. They're not the most pigmented thing in the entire world. The foil shades do fare better over either like a glitter glue or used wet, but overall it's a really pretty palette and it's a good palette, especially for the price. That's the biggest thing, is if you're looking for something affordable, you want to start playing around with colors like these, I would recommend this because it worked really, really well for the price. On that same day that I went to Five Below, there's a Walmart in the same shopping center, and I went in there probably to pick up groceries, but I found myself wandering the beauty section because I don't go to Walmart super often. It's not my favorite store. So when I do go to Walmart, I like to go into the beauty section because sometimes they have exclusive things, which I think all but one of the things that I am talking about in today's video were all like Walmart exclusive products. I'm pretty sure. At least 3 of them are. 5, maybe 3 for sure. And 1 I know I've seen at other stores. So first things first, I picked up these NYX Born to Glow duos, and I have the duos High Key Flex and Flexpensive, and then I have Rock Candy and Golden Cuffs. I love these. If you have watched my channel at all, you would already know that I adore the Anastasia Beverly Hills the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Glow Kit, specifically the shade Daydream, which is like a peachy, warm, just really gorgeous highlight. It looks really, really nice on my skin tone. It pairs really well with like a yellowy gold highlight as well. They layer really well together and they make this really pretty like candlelit glow on the skin. Oh my, I just love it. Anyways, so I saw this and I was like, holy shit, that looks so much like Daydream, and it does. So the way that these duos work. And now mind you, when I went into the store, they actually didn't have the lightest one there. I'm interested in picking up the lightest one. They have one that's like a little bit more foiled, and then one that's a little bit thinner but has a little bit of a glitter to it. I don't mind glitter in my highlights as long as it's not a glitter bomb. I think that there's a time and a place for it, and I don't mind it. So, but that's just me. Is High Key Flex, which is a really pretty highlight. Both of these are a little bit deep on my skin, but I can make them work, especially when I kind of mix them in a little bit with a blush. And then right here, so we have High Key Flex, Flexpensive, Rock Candy, and Golden Cuffs. And I just think that these highlights are so pretty. They're so reflective, and they just look so good on the skin. They're obviously not as dark looking actually applied with like a thinner application, not a heavy finger swatch, but they are very reflective. So if you're not into super like metallic highlights, you probably wouldn't love them, but I just think that the colors are so pretty, and I really like the way that they look on my skin, and I was very happy with these. I would highly recommend them. And then on to some highlights that didn't really impress me. I'm going to keep them for now and keep using them, but they aren't my favorite. So I have here the Hard Candy Just Glow Stay Glassy highlight, and then I have the Hard Candy Just Glow, like just highlighting duo. And this one is in the shade The Glow Up Is Real, and then this one is in the shade Peach Please. So as you can see by both of these, I was going for a specific color, because even though I have two more of the Nicole Glow kits so that I never run out of Daydream ever in my life, I'm still forever on the hunt for more of it, more of that same style. One thing I will point out with these ones in particular is that they don't swatch the best. They show up better on a finger swatch for color than they do actually swiping it. So I'm just going to show you finger swatches really quick, just so you can kind of get an idea of the shades. The single pan one is creamier and has a better payoff than the duo. The duo is a very hard panned, very dry formula. They show up pretty on the skin. They just really don't swatch well, so it's kind of hard for me to show you. But right here is the single in Stay Glassy Peach Please. And then these two right here are the duos. So as you can see, one is significantly more glowy than the other two. And this one right here, which is this bottom peach shade down here, is like very much not glowy at all. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about this kind of just lack of payoff. So this one right here is the single, and then these are the duos. I think that they're pretty for a softer glow, and there's always a time and place for that, of course. I tend to, especially for filming and just content in general, go for a little bit more of a punchy highlight just because it looks better on film and in pictures. But in my day-to-day life, I could see myself using these. Like I said, I'm going to hold on to them for now. They're just not something that I'm like, oh my god, you need to run out and buy them right this second kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, you need to run out and buy it right now, this is the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. Right out of the gate, if you are sensitive to fragrance or you don't like mint, don't get this because you won't like it at all. It does have a very minty scent to it, but this is such a good primer. It feels so nice going on the skin. Feels so nice going on the skin. It's so cooling. But the best thing about this is this is a great gripping primer. So this gets really sticky. You have to work pretty quickly applying this, but it stays so sticky, and when you put your foundation on or whatever on top of it, it just stays all day. This grips it to your skin. It looks so good. It's such a good primer. What I like to do, so it does have a little pump, I will take and press it and put a dot here, 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 just because I've found that putting it onto my fingers and kind of working it together like that, it starts to get too difficult to work with by the time I'm ready to apply it. So I'll just put the dots on and I'll blend it out quickly. Like I said, you have to work very quickly with this primer, but it does such a good job at holding on the makeup that it's totally worth like any sort of struggle that you might like. Not struggle, but any like caveat of having to work with the product, just having to work fast. You do want to make sure that you wait 30 seconds after applying this before putting anything else on top of it, just so it has time to get its full stick. This is the one thing that I'm like, if you're gonna run out and go buy something based on this video, this is what I would recommend. It is such a good primer. Next up is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Putty Primer. I'm going to preface this by saying I have not tried the Tatcha primer. I have tried the e.l.f. Putty primer. I didn't love it. I really didn't like it. It was, honestly, I tried it a very long time ago, so I don't remember what about it I didn't love, but it just wasn't my favorite. So this is kind of the same style. It's a little putty primer. You can see my little grimy little fingerprints in there, digging it out. I probably should use like a spatula or something, but ship sailed at this point. Again, heavy fragrance. This smells just like butter bronzer, so if you're not into fragrance in your products, I wouldn't recommend this, but it's kind of hit or miss for me, if I'm being honest with you. There's a little bit of glow on my hands from that highlight, but that's fine. Butter is the right word. Butter is definitely the right word for it. It feels like you're rubbing butter on your face. It's very hydrating, I will say that. If you're oily, don't even fucking touch this. Don't touch it. You'll hate it. If you have dry skin, you'll probably really like this. This isn't the type of product though that's going to hold your makeup on for a long period of time, just because it is so slippy and glidey and hydrating, but it does make my skin feel really good. I'd like to use this particularly on my drier days when I really just feel like my skin needs that extra little bit of moisture. This does help, and it does sink in, and it stays slippy, but not quite as like you just rubbed butter on your face is really the only way that I could describe it. It does sink in and it starts to feel really good after a couple minutes, but I don't know that I love it. It's not my favorite. I'm not like gonna run out and go buy another one the second I finish it. Like the e.l.f. Mint Melt Primer, I'm probably going to pick up backups because I don't know if that like line within e.l.f. is going to stay around for a super long time, so I really kind of want to pick up more just so I have it. But as for this one, I just don't know that I will repurchase this. I'll probably finish it more than likely. I don't know, we'll see how I'm feeling about it in a couple months, 6 months, something like that, kind of see where I'm standing with it, because if you remember my last speed reviews video, I have a lot of primers at the moment, which is why I shouldn't let myself buy more, and I'm not letting myself buy anymore. This is the Loreal LeLiner Signature. This one is in Noir Cashmere, which is just their black shade. I am wearing it on my upper and lower waterlines at the moment. This doesn't move. And this lasts forever. Like, it lasts until you're ready to take it off. I have notoriously watery eyes, and this holds up. It's got a little, so it's retractable, and it's just a really, really good, it doesn't tug on the eyes when you're putting it on. It just glides on, stays on all day. It's just such a good eyeliner. I just recently picked up the brown one. For once I run out of my brown eyeliner that I have over there, I now have a brown one ready to go. And I picked up another black one. It was on sale. Next up is a hair tool, actually. During, I think it was like Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty, but it was like their hair care version. They had this on sale. It was actually new at the time, and then it like went on sale 50% off, and I was like, I'm gonna pick this up. So this is the Bedhead Waiver. I'll put it up on the screen what its actual name is because I can't remember it because it was only on the packaging, and all this says is Bedhead, but it's the one that looks like this, and it's got the big barrels. I already own the Bedhead Wave Artist that's really tiny like this. I do like this one a lot, but if I'm being honest with you, I prefer this one. I like the bigger waves that it gives me. It's not quite so, I crimped my hair in the early 2000s. It really depends. If I have French braided my hair into really smaller braids and I need to touch it up, I'm gonna reach for this one. But this one I can use, I will still touch up like braid waves with this one, but this one I can use by itself and on just like my regular hair, and it looks really, really good. The only thing that I would say is when you use this, so you want to use it with the plate up so that it gives your hair volume, but you want to make sure when you're using it that you're not holding it like this, that you're actually holding it like this, because this plate does get really hot, and if you're holding it and you're like this, your hair will get pressed up against it and it will get a crease in it. So that is just one thing to keep in mind. But overall, I really, really like it. It's got a heat setting on it, so you can turn it up, turn it down to whatever it is that you need. And yeah. I had major issues with how this was shipped to me, but that's not on Bedhead. That's on some random person at the Ulta warehouse that didn't pay attention. They shipped in a huge box. Now, granted, this thing's pretty big, so huge box. I had bought this. I had bought a backup of the L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation, glass bottle. And I bought one of the little Colourpop little 5-pan little row palettes. And that was it. I opened the box to this, and it's store packaging, right? Just in there. The foundation just in there. No wrap. No, nothing around that. Surprised that didn't shatter. And then just the Colourpop palette in like this little tiny little bubble sleeve, just tossed in there with like a single one of the like air pillows on top of it. And I was just like, first of all, how did my foundation not shatter? And then I opened up the Colourpop palette and it was just dust, which sucked. I got a little swatch out of it and I was like, I don't really need this. I'm gonna go ahead and just return it. This is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain. I know it had a name when I purchased it online, but the name isn't on here. It literally just says 72 on the bottom. I bought this off of a recommendation of someone online who said that if you really liked the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips, to try the Sephora Cream Lip Stain. I don't like the fragrance of this. It is fragranced. It's a sweet fragrance, but it's like sickly sweet, and that's coming from somebody who likes, like, I love the scent of butter bronzer. Love it. But something about just like the undertone of this one, it's just fake sickly sweet, so I don't love that. Also, this color was not really what I expected for it to be online. It's just like okay. It's very similar to the color that I'm currently wearing. But that's different. I knew I was buying this color. I didn't know that I was buying this color, but that's besides the point. So the online pictures are not accurate. Overall, it's okay. It really doesn't stand up to the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips, to me. It's not quite as comfortable. It's a little bit more drying. It gets a little bit like, not crepey or crunchy, but like liney over time. It's all right. All right, just a couple more things. I'm going to talk about some Colourpop Super, if I can hold that so you can actually see all of them, some Colourpop Super Shock shadows. So this one right here is in the shade Ice Dream, and then I did pick up a couple of the Colourpop and Raw Beauty Chrissy Super Shocks. I picked these up when I got the Colourpop Your Golden, which I'll talk about in just one second. I literally picked these up just to get free shipping. Worth it. Why pay for shipping when I could just have more things for the same price? That's where I stand with that one. So let me go ahead and swatch these for you. Ice Dream is gorgeous. They're all gorgeous, but Ice Dream in particular is gorgeous. Alright, so right here is the shade Ice Dream. It's like a clear, whitish, but kind of still clear base with pink and purple and blue glitter to it. It's definitely more blue than anything, but it definitely has some, how many times am I going to say definitely? It has a purpley pink flip to it. It's so pretty. And then next up is from the Raw Beauty Christie collection, and this is in the shade Olympic. I will link up in the eye and down below for you guys the video that I used it. I used it in my bridal tutorial that I just put up at the beginning of July, because it's like such a perfect bridal shade, because you can build it up for a lot of impact or you can keep it really sheer. It's very like barely has much of a base to it at all. It's really just a gorgeous shimmer. And then last but not least, I have the shade Campfire, because I love my warm orangey bronzy shades right here. Gorgeous. Definitely has a lot more payoff. This one is a little bit thicker feeling than the other two, but it has a really good color payoff to it. It's shiny. It's gorgeous. I love them. Colourpop Super Shocks are, they're always good. You just gotta find your shades that you prefer, and that's pretty much it. This is the Colourpop Your Golden Palette. I will link up in the eye and down below for you guys the video of me testing this out for the first time. I fucking love this palette. I also used this in my bridal tutorial as well, so I have some multiple looks going on my channel using this palette. It's so pretty. This is probably hands down my favorite Colourpop palette, and that is saying something because I also really love Stone Cold Fox and Sweet Talk. Really love Sweet Talk, but Sweet Talk's pretty similar to this. I just think that this palette is gorgeous. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Everything that I said in my first impressions video, I stand by it. I've done so many looks with this palette. It's so versatile, but it's just so gorgeous. It's very beginner friendly, but it also has enough to satisfy somebody who has a bigger collection, because there's just so much in it. It's so pretty. It is just such a good palette. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers apply beautifully. I can't say enough good things about it. This is another one of my, if you were considering it, go buy it. If you're looking for a palette, go buy it. I fucking love this palette. And speaking of another palette that I fucking love, and the very last thing that we are going to talk about, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Volume 5 palette. Once again, I will link up in the eye and down below for you guys. My first impressions video from this one as well. Really, it was 2 purchases back to back that were just bangers, and those videos did so well, which is so cool. Just a gorgeous palette. And again, same thing as I said about Your Golden. Everything that I said about this palette in my first impression, I still stand by. The mattes, never met anything softer or more pigmented. But not like scary pigmented, but just like the perfect amount of pigment, but they're buttery smooth. They blend beautifully. They're so good. The shimmers in here, to die for. This shade right here, gorgeous. This one, oh my god, I can't live without it. This one over here, beautiful. Everything so good. Another one of those, if you know you got room in the budget for 2, they work really well together. If you got budget, if you got a higher budget, go with this one. If you got a slightly lower budget, go for this one. If you like one more than the other, go for whichever one floats your boat. But personally, love them both. So happy I got them. So pleased with both of them. And this one in particular, I'm going to point out one little tiny nitpicky thing about this palette. I grabbed all the rest of my Norvina palettes, so give me just 1 second. All right, so all of the Norvina palettes are held together with magnets, correct? Okay, so as you can see here, they are all stacked together. The magnets put them all perfectly in line, okay? I can't do this holding all 5. There's no way. We'll go with 2. Okay, so the magnets keep them, I'm pressing, magnets are keeping them nice, even, aligned, as you can see. Okay, so holding them all facing the same direction, correct? I'm going to take Volume 5, and I'm going to put it on top. And as you can see, the magnets in here are in a different direction than the ones in the rest of the palettes, and I've tried it with all 5. I've tried it with all of the rest of the palettes. They all do this, but it's such a nitpicky thing. I know, it's so nitpicky, but I just hate that they don't stack together. I hate it. But I had to find one little flaw, right? I had to find one flaw. It sits very hard to pick up all 5. That's how it sits. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't stack. It upsets me. It's really what keeps me up at night, if I'm being honest. So yeah, those were my speed reviews for this month, products that I've been trying recently. I will have another speed review video coming next month, completely updating you guys on everything from my Shop Miss A haul, because as it stands right now, I'm filming this on a Thursday. I filmed the Shop Miss A haul on Tuesday. So I haven't even tried it all, like, enough to even have an opinion. So next month we'll have my Shop Miss A haul review for you guys, and next month will be September, and then it will be October, which will be all Halloween looks, and then it's basically Christmas, and I don't know where this year went. For context, by the way, I'm filming this on July 8th, so just July 8th. But I saw this thing on TikTok the other day that was just like, in 5 months, 2020 will be 2 years ago, and I haven't been okay since I learned that information, because what the fuck? And I'm sure I'm probably thinking that even more so editing this video when it's coming out a month from now, a month and a half from now. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. What a weird outro. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that you learned something. Comment down below and let me know if any of the products that I talked about in today's video you are interested in purchasing, or let me know a product that you picked up recently and what you thought of it. I would love to know. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!